Since the library's closed, they would like
What?
people to move on
Well,
somewhere else.
I don't need to go inside for anything.
No, they just don't want you outside either.
Yeah? What time do they shut off the internet?
They don't, so they
Well,
don't want
why
you
would-
hanging around.
I'm not just hanging though, I'm using the internet.
Right.
You
That's their policy. They don't want people hanging out outside the building.
They told
when
you,
they're closed.
who told you that?
That's their staff policy.
That's okay, so if I go to the director and say, hey, this
Yeah.
guy, what's your name?
It's Kevin.
Kevin come up to me and said that, you guys don't want people using the internet outside the library when it's closed?
Yeah.
All right, well.
Yep.
All right,
That's their
fine.
policy.
I'll have to ask him about that. Okay, last night I was outside the library using the internet.
Okay.
And a security guy, Kevin, came up to me and said that it's policy that you can't do that.
Well, it's just
I'm
after a
interested.
certain hour. Depends on what time it was.
Okay.
There's
I
the
forget.
internet usually actually gets turned off at like 10, I think.
Oh yeah, it was still working.
Yeah.
I might have been out there after 6 p.m. or so.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is this a policy that's written down that I could read?
I believe it.
Because I'm curious, like how long after, and then how long before the library opens? How long after can you use the internet outside the library? In which you turn it off at 10, but you got to. They can clear people out before that for reasons I'm unaware of. And before that, the time, can you be an hour before the library opens? Or is it like?
Well, I think there's certain hours. Let me think.
That your library board decided is reasonable for the patrons. Yeah, like maybe when was that decided? Like did an issue come up where there's like a murderer? Is there a murder?
Because this is a public building, and so it has to go along with the city's policy.
The city runs, so it's the city is funding the library.
Well, it's a city building.
Yeah.
That's a
Sometimes
public library. It's part of the city.
Some libraries are like separate. You ever hear of that?
That's usually county, but this is not.
Yeah, it's through the city. But that security guard is private, right? He doesn't.
He is.
He doesn't work for. Okay, but he carries a gun. But yeah, he's private. Do you know his company too? Is it?
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm trying Securitas or.
Oh my gosh, what do they call?
Well, okay. If you.
I'll think of it in just
one
a second.
question one question
Let
at
me
a
find the
time.
policies first.
Because I mean that's news to me. I've been at some libraries where it's not a problem, and I mean.
Yeah,
I want to
think
just
there's
use.
certain.
I can understand when you turn off the internet, then I have no business. But when the internet's working and I got a guy coming up telling me. Well, maybe I should research it. Are you looking up something I could access?
Yeah. I'm trying to. I don't think it has times listed.
All right. It's
But,
policy.
Yeah, but look under if you just look on the website, so you can go out here on any of these computers.
Yep.
And just look at.
Well, I got 3 on me.
Okay, and then just look under about, and then it'll have policies, and then just find the internet and computer use.
Okay, and I'm gonna find this policy this guy is like giving me a vague reference to, and hopefully
it's not
it'll
necessarily
be.
on the internet. I think it's just the surround the library.
You cannot be
itself,
within
the library grounds.
You can't be on the library grounds, which should be a map marked, because maybe the internet could reach the sidewalk or something. I'm not sure. I haven't tested that, but
I'm not sure how far out it goes.
But you know that it turns off at 10 and it turns on at maybe 7 or so, 8.
Yeah, I'm not sure what time
goes
on.
The library.
But I don't think those hours are listed anywhere.
Yeah.
I think some of it has to do with
your tech support.
The grounds, the library grounds, and so, if you're.
Yeah, I saw your sign. It said no overnight parking.
Right.
And overnight would probably mean like maybe 10 to 6. I don't know the exact.
Right. I would say usually probably an hour after the library closes.
Okay.
Would probably be. I mean, but that's just. I don't think that's written down.
Yeah, because if I'm given like if I'm knowing a certain deadline,
right,
then I know what to work with.
Know to leave
but if it's so vague that I got people coming up, it feels offensive to me to have somebody come up and just interpret it their way, when I would maybe interpret it a different way.
Right,
You know,
and
without,
he probably didn't do any of that.
because there was still
explain
kind of
kind
daylight.
thing.
There was still kind of
Right.
daylight out at the time I was there.
Right.
The rain was just starting, so.
So yeah,
all right,
'cause there's
yeah,
no specific times listed.
Okay, well, that's
within
a
the
little
internet
frustrating then.
Policy.
That's a little frustrating. It's just kind of at his leisure then. So if I get warned again, it could be a cop call. If I
Right.
if I
Well,
stay-
there is a. I'm trying to think.
a second warning probably doesn't go over as
Well,
well.
and it wouldn't necessarily be on the internet. It would be on the library hours.
Because I do like to come back sometimes to the
Hours.
library to check on the internet or something.
Right.
I kind of use it a lot. And I'm not aware of any other buildings.
I mean, if you're going to be here, let me do a little research and I'll see what I can find directly to.
Yeah,
But
what's
definitely look at the policies.
because
on
it's
the
something. It's whatever
website.
Kevin saw. Kevin saw this, and he's working with that information.
Right.
So,
Well,
I
I mean,
wanna-
it has to do with library hours, I'm sure, and they being
Yeah.
in public.
Are you the director or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I didn't think
she
you
is
were.
not currently in. If you'd like her
Okay.
card is right here.
Who decided
Susan.
Who do you think
Huh?
decided the
Well, it has to do
hours?
with
the
the.
board or the
Oh,
city?
yeah,
the city you said,
Well,
right?
we are a city entity, so but
The city would
hours
sit. They
are
would
decided on by the board.
the library board, yeah.
Yeah.
And they okay, all right. And then maybe if you're gonna do research, then maybe I come back here and
Sure.
and
Yeah,
okay.
and you can probably
And
speak
then-
to Susan as well.
And then I could ask you about. Oh, she might be back. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
no,
I could
she-
ask you about the company he works for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what's your name?
Lorana.
Laurana. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no
All right.
problem.
Travis.
Travis, I'm
Yep.
Susan. How
Susan.
are you?
Good.
Thank you, Nancy. Have a seat. Let's talk.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last night I was just using the internet outside.
Right.
And the security guy, Kevin, came by and said
Okay.
that there's a policy that he's enforcing,
Mhm.
and I'm interested in that.
Okay. That's something we've been looking at because generally speaking, there's a policy about people not being in the library after closing. But
Oh no, I don't need to be in the. I
I
told him.
know.
I'm like,
I know.
the internet works outside.
I know. And see, here's the thing, though. The internet's supposed to go off outside when we close, but it doesn't. And that confuses people.
Yeah.
So then I'm in the process of. This is not the first time this has come up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it happened, and I'm sorry this happened to you. We need to clarify what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing for people,
Yeah.
and I need to call Rocky Mountain and talk to them.
If you have to turn the internet off right as soon as the library closes, and I mean that's what you find is the best, most reasonable thing to do. I mean, I guess, but I mean, it does kind of put some people at a disadvantage. Some people do like to come after hours and use the internet. I mean,
know.
but you guys have found that to be more of a problem than it's worth.
Well, here's the thing.
For the greater good, it's better to shut it off early.
No, that's not the issue. The greater good isn't access. What happens is the greater good gets to be an issue of security.
Yeah.
Because we're not here. Everyone's gone. And especially in the winter,
Mhm.
it gets dark early.
So what has happened though? What incidents? A lot of graffiti, a lot of things getting turned over and broken.
Mhm.
Then you
Yeah,
have
and
a
it's
log, a
not-
big log of that at the library. That goes.
No. Travis,
Oh.
what are you telling me? Are you saying you
I'm
wanna be
asking
able
how
to-
bad is the security that
Huh?
requires you to up your level of enforcement? Has there been a lot of break-ins, a lot of after hours trashing of the library that
Yeah,
has
well-
increased?
Last year we had 2 break-ins last year.
Oh wow.
The west door, they just broke through the glass. And then
Wow.
also we have
That's-
customers who come in and tell us that, they get nervous because they're people trying to camp and sleep next to the building at night.
Mhm.
A lot of people do that in the winter, especially, and that's an issue. People tell us
Oh.
they don't feel safe because
Yeah,
they'll
just to
come in-
return a book,
Right.
they don't feel safe doing that.
well, sometimes there are people who have sleeping bags and they're asleep in the bushes.
Hmm.
They're just camped for the evening, and so
And that's like
It's a
an issue.
problem.
That's the difference. Like I've recently learned what the definition of loitering means,
Right.
and I'm sure you do too. It's like standing around with no purpose.
mhm.
And I mean, I feel like I kind of have a purpose using the internet.
Sure.
Somebody who's just sitting around scaring people, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and
to
you know-
lump me in that same category doesn't seem fair.
Well, and that's the issue with the internet. We have talked to. We're part of the city. We're city department.
Hmm.
So we've talked to our city IT people in the past about trying to get the internet turned off when the building
Okay,
closes. That way
yeah.
it's not a confusing thing
Well,
for people,
All right.
you know, because
I know the one library, the only library I've ever come across, they unplug it as soon as they close. It's incredible, but I mean.
do other libraries leave it on all the time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just came from one that 24 hours.
Where's that?
It's east or west of here, Three Forks. A little tiny town. You
Yeah,
probably may
yeah,
have been. It's not too
yeah.
far.
Yeah.
They leave it on, 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And some have the passwords. They may change the password every week or so.
Right.
You could do that, I suppose, or just have it shut off at a certain time. There is that.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I get what you're saying about the internet, and is it something that should be available to the public?
That's the main thing
24/7?
that's the main thing that attracts me to
Right.
libraries. I really
Right.
don't use books.
Yeah.
Sometimes I prop my computer up, but
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question. The thing of the art, I think that what's really happened in the last few years, Travis, is a lot more and more people are having difficult times, and so we have more people camping in the park. We've had people camping up next to the building. We've had people doing drug deals out front.
Yeah.
So there's been that element of things.
I've seen one library that specifically has a sign that says "Do not deal drugs" in front of the
Oh,
library.
really?
That's
great.
in Olympia, Washington.
Really?
You go to that library, you'll see a sign that says that. And
Oh,
guess
wow.
what? While I was waiting for the library to open, there was a
saw
drug
it?
deal
Oh,
going.
no.
A black guy was trying to sell
Wow.
some marijuana, or who wants to buy weed?
Oh my
it's
gosh.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but we've been told by some customers that several times this year that people have been doing drug deals out here after dark, and
Mm-hmm.
probably 4 or 5 years ago. No, it was the first year I was here. We had an incident with a stabbing one time, and
Yeah.
so
And the homeless shelter isn't too far from here, I believe. From what I saw on the map, it doesn't.
Well-
Maybe it's less than a mile or so.
the community cafe, the restaurant, the Fork and Spoon restaurant,
Okay.
where you can
Free
eat for
meals,
free.
soup kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not even a soup kitchen. It's just really good food.
Okay, but it's free.
It's free.
Okay, I have to look into that.
Yeah, you should.
For my concern. Yeah.
Do we have a?
I don't know.
You have a
what to
list?
say if I have a.
Yeah, I'm
Let's see if we
poor. I admit I'm poor.
That's okay.
That's why I was here last night
That's-
trying to use the internet.
I understand. I totally get it. And listen, you know what? Everybody hits hard times sometimes, and being poor is
Yeah.
nothing to be ashamed of.
It's not so bad though.
Mhm.
I don't see it as being a bad thing.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
you learn new resources, new ways of
that's
getting by.
really smart. Yeah, you're right.
You adapt.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, but
that
yeah,
makes a lot of sense. The restaurant is on. We'll print something up
Yeah,
for you.
for
But
information. Yeah, I'm interested for sure.
It's on 7th.
7th Street. Okay.
anything we could print
The
up.
hours are Sunday through Friday, 5 to 7.
Okay, it's
So
a
it's
just
just
a
dinner,
supper.
it's dinner.
Yeah.
And it's a pay what you can model.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
free if you can't, or if
Yeah.
you have $1, $2, whatever. I'll give you the physical address. I'll write it down for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
and they have really good food. There's like
There it is.
a substantial meal that they give you.
Mhm.
Also, the Salvation Army is just right
Yeah,
over here.
I know. I have that marked. I just
Okay.
didn't know about the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of new here. I look for those as from the first places.
Sure.
The library's a primary
Oh,
place I go, and
Oh,
then I look for those food banks and stuff.
good.
I'm kind of a traveler. I've been to quite a few libraries, so
That's great.
I've seen different patterns, and
Uh-huh.
I'm a little angry about this situation, but
I know,
I mean
and
it's
I'm sorry.
I'm here to learn. I'm
Yeah,
not here to try to
yeah,
change you guys. I'm just
yeah.
here to learn, and I don't want to
Your
get
rights are.
yeah. I don't.
It's for the restaurant.
I don't want to run into him a second time because I know he'll want to call the cops a second time.
What's his name, Kevin?
Kevin, yeah, security guy Kevin. He carries a
Well,
gun.
Sunday is because we close early on Sunday. I mean, we're
Six-
open
yeah.
until 8 tonight, so
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
so you have.
It was like 6:30. Yeah, it was.
Well,
Well-
we closed at 5 though.
Yeah, do we have, let me find something that's got our hours on it.
Yeah,
Do we
we
have,
have a
Well, I have your hours. I
the
mean,
bookmark. Do I not have bookmark in here? Usually I have.
the hours are Monday through Thursday we're open till 8, and then
Yeah.
Friday we're open till 6.
Yeah,
And
but
the
you.
weekend we close at 5.
I understand your hours, but you have electricity outside and then the internet. But you say it closes at 10 and then opens at what time? Maybe 8 o'clock in the
10
morning.
o'clock.
10 o'clock in the
Open at
morning.
10.
The internet. What times the internet get turned on? It gets shut. The internet gets shut down at 10 p.m. and then it turns back on at a morning hour.
I just emailed the IT guys
Oh, yep.
and
Okay.
asked them because I know what time that I think it's supposed to come on, but I find that
Okay.
every time
Alright.
they do an upgrade or something, sometimes it changes or they forget. So
Okay.
we're trying to, I want to find out so I can give you good information.
Okay. Because my hours, how I use the library, kind of coordinate with the hours of the internets in a way. Because I like, some will close at 10, some will shut down the internet at 10, and then I'm like, okay, well, I have no business after 10,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But if I have this loose law that's being verbally enforced upon me by security in between the shutdown of the library and then the shutdown of the internet, it seems like it's kind of on the discretion of the security.
Well, let me write his name down because I need to call and talk to them.
Well, it's Kevin. He's a private security, and I don't. What security outfit does he work for?
It's called Rocky Mountain Security.
Okay. Are there any? I saw the library has to enforce rules. You librarians have to enforce rules during the daytime in the library. I'd think a security guy would be doing that for you guys, but
We don't have anybody that's paid during the day.
he's only at night.
Well, and here's the thing: we have the security come by at least once in the evening after we close, just because we've had so many people trying to camp outside the building. And then another problem that we've had, and I know this sounds crazy, but we have a night cleaning crew that comes.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And so they get really scared because they say a lot of times that people will bang on the windows and yell at them. And it'll be 2 in the morning, and then people from the park will come over and bang on the windows and scream, "Let me in! Let me in!"
Let me in.
So that's the idea: is to try to keep people from hanging out around the building after dark and doing things they shouldn't do.
Yeah, those incidents. That can be scary. How do you stop it? But having a security guy come once a night, and he came kind of early at 6:30. If he wants to really catch people that's sleeping late at night, he should probably come at a later hour than 6:30.
And a lot of times they do. They seem
more than once.
Well,
probably.
It's really interesting. They're supposed to come once, and then I find that they sometimes do a pass through in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Like they're on their way to different They have different jobs.
Yeah.
Like they work. They work over nail works, and they work around this area.
I've seen some have to hit a button or do a check at the building that they checked. They carry a wand and they touch it to a part of the building. It kind of logs that they stopped at that. I don't know how the security does it here, but I've seen that. In Las Vegas, I was at a library and a security guy came around the building. He just says like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he kept moving along. He just checked out the outside of the building and that was it.
What time at night was that?
Oh, it was late. Yeah, it was late. It was like 9:30 or 10.
Okay.
I walked over and used the internet, and the internet was still working. It's kind of an outskirts, but it was still within Las Vegas. But.
Well, and we need to figure out, this is the thing, Bozeman's growing so fast that we're having to kind of come back and make policies where there have been no policies. And so what I want to do is talk to you and apologize that you were not treated well. I'm sorry about that.
Well,
but also try to clarify, we need to put something in writing for people that's easy to understand.
Yeah. So one library put a no loitering sign, and it's questionable because I asked what the intent was about that, and he's like, "Well, yeah, there are people scaring, people similar to your situation."
Right.
But it's not intended to push away people who are just using the internet after hours. It is for those scary people, the people that are really causing problems. And your rule is just a broad sweep of everybody and anybody who's around the library. It's not specific situations or people.
If we had somebody who was on the premises all the hours after dark that was kind of doing security on a pretty regular basis during the night, then that might be different.
Okay,
so
yeah, he
that's
can't.
Part of the thing.
Yeah, the security can't get familiar with everybody. It's only once or twice a night, and So he just has to do a broad sweep of, make sure that if the person is returning a book, that they just do it promptly and leave after hours.
Yeah, that people don't stay here after hours and try to sleep or try to deal drugs or try to do whatever that they don't need to be doing.
I gotta say, this is a unique design for your library, because you
Really?
have benches in the front that are very, inviting.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a more comfortable library design than this.
Well, that's
This is
really
nice.
interesting. That's good to know.
But I mean, it's
does
an
invite
invitation,
people, sure.
and this is by design.
Yeah.
And I thought it was nice of you guys. My first impression was, this is nice. I like this. I can just comfortably sit and use the internet until the security guy comes by, and it's like, no, you can't.
Well, and we need to fix that. We need to make it more clear. And let me ask you this, because we can't do the 24-hour internet thing here, mainly just because we're city property and it's a liability issue for the city.
Maybe.
But what about, does this make more sense to you? What if we were to say that we can't have people hanging out on the library grounds after dark?
Yeah, well, you have a no camping sign for the parking lot, and it looks specifically for the parking lot. There's nothing around the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you maybe put those signs on the building as well to make it clear.
Does that make more sense to you, that it would be after dark, that we're saying to people?
Oh,
you guys
after
need to
dark.
move ahead?
I like that after dark rule for the parks for sure. Some will be like, oh no, after dark. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't like after dark. I like the 10 to 6 hours.
Have specific
Because
times.
yeah, because the
times.
hours vary during the season. It's like after dark. It's like 4 o'clock at
That's true.
in the winter time.
That's true.
And that doesn't seem fair to me. I like for the parks when they have specific times, actually, rather than sunset to sundown. That just, because that varies too much.
That's true. That's true.
Just this is my opinion about parks. It could maybe kind of loosely apply to the library.
Well,
I'm not
but you're
sure.
right. If we had specific times, then it would be a lot easier for people to understand.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess if the internet's the issue, just shut it down earlier, then fine. Maybe the city hall leaves their internet open 24 hours. Who knows?
I'm going to try to find out.
Most city halls are going to have available Wi-Fi for the public, so I would just maybe walk over there instead and use theirs, unless they have ours. It's a matter of testing, I guess. That's what I kind of take a chance, test it, and see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you're not I'm glad you're not doing the password thing. I thank you for that. Or a login screen. Oh, I hate those.
Yeah.
Passwords and login screens. They seem like a hassle. But the hours I can kind of understand. I shouldn't be on the internet late at night sometimes anyway. I should be sleeping. And the temptation to use the internet at any time sometimes it's kind of nice that's regulated.
Well, I appreciate your telling me about this and coming in and telling Lorana about it, because we've got to get this taken care of. We need to make it more clear for people, and I think I'm going to call Rocky.
On your next library board meeting, maybe you could put it in the agenda to have it discussed. Maybe do a survey of some kind and then discuss the results of the survey.
Good idea.
Whatever. So, okay, well, I don't know how, I guess I'm just going to have to continue to stay away from the library then after hours, especially on Sunday nights. Tonight won't be so bad, like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yeah. Well, I think what I'm going to do is call and talk to Rocky Mountain and see if they can come a little later on the weekends.
Okay.
I think that at least...
To catch the sleepers or something, it's a little early at 6:30 to catch sleepers, I would suspect.
Yep.
But, okay. Well,
would you like some chocolate?
No, thank you.
No, you need to fill that up again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, Travis, thanks a bunch.